All right, good morning. Let's go ahead and call the 9 o'clock, which is in the matter of Amani Brielle Ozell Snelling, whose parental applicant in this name change for a minor is Kiera Freeman.
Yes.
Okay. This case number is CB 2026-015559. Let's go ahead and get appearances, please, beginning with the parental applicant.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Kiera Freeman, the mother of Imani Snelling.
All right, good morning. And whom else do we have sitting that's partially blocked by the monitor?
Uh-oh, sorry. We have Harold Breckenridge.
Okay, can you introduce yourself, please?
Oh, Imani, I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Imani Snelling.
Good morning. And we have someone in the galley as well, is that correct?
Yeah.
And who is that? Harold Breckenridge was the name? Okay. And I believe we have Mr. Snelling joining us via Teams, is that correct?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Can you introduce yourself, sir?
Hi, my name is Beyonce Snelling.
Okay. Well, good morning to you as well, sir. So this is the time set for an evidentiary hearing in this name change for a minor. Are the parties ready to proceed?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So, all right, parental applicant and Mr. Snelling both announced ready. So let me ask you this question first. Who intends to testify? Let's first hear from the move-ins, Ms. Freeman.
Yes, me. So as I said, my name is Kiera Freeman.
No, who intends to testify? Who are you calling as witnesses?
Oh, Mr. Breckenridge and Imani as well. She wants to speak.
Okay. So Amani and Mr. Breckenridge, that's it?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Snelling, do you have any, who do you intend to call as witnesses?
No, just me.
You intend to call yourself?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to ask everyone to, at this time, please stand, raise your right hand, because my clerk's going to swear everyone in.
You and each of you do solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Here, so everyone can, thank you. Go ahead and sit down. All right. Last bit of housekeeping is that I see that both the, I guess it's been marked as plaintiff and defendant, but really the parental applicant and then the biological father have submitted what have been marked as exhibits for 1 through 25. So simply because if by submitting exhibits in this manner doesn't mean that they're in evidence. So are there any agreements as to the admission on these exhibits or no?
What do you mean by an agreement to the admissions?
Well, have Mr. Snelling and you spoken, and are there any agreements as to whether these exhibit or whether all of them, some of them, or none of them should be admitted upon agreement stipulation?
So Mr. Snelling and I have no contact.
Okay.
As far as the submissions, I just see photos of him and Imani.
Okay, well, I'm not asking what they are. I'm just asking if there's any agreements, whether they should be admitted or not upon agreement. And it sounds like there's not. Is that your understanding, Mr. Snelling?
Well, yeah, like she said, we don't have any contacts, so.
Okay. All right. Well, let's first have opening statements. So I'll allow each party to have a quick opening statement if you so choose. So, Ms. Freeman, do you have an opening statement you'd like to make?
Yes, I'm here in support of my daughter with her petition to change her last name from Snelling to Breckenridge. So I'm here in support of that.
All right, thank you. Mr. Snelling, would you like to make an opening statement, sir?
Well, yes, I'm here, and I do not agree with the name changes. I mean, do you want me to go into details or like?
Well, an opening statement is just a preview of what you think the evidence is going to show. So we'll get to the evidentiary portion of you testifying in a bit, but I just wanted to get give you an opportunity both parties to give an opportunity for an opening statement to give me a preview of
Okay.
what you think the evidence is going to show.
Well, yeah, like I said, I don't agree with the whole name change. So
All right. Well, thank you, sir. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the evidentiary portion. As the moving party, the parental applicant, Ms. Freeman, has the burden. So what we're going to hear from your witnesses first. So you may call your first witness.
It'll be myself.
Oh, you're calling yourself. Okay. The court's going to invoke the rule of exclusion. So Mr. Breckenridge, if you want to take a step outside, and we'll get you when you're ready for your testimony. Okay, sir? All right, and let the record reflect that Mr. Breckenridge has now exited the courtroom with the door now shut. Okay, so Ms. Freeman, you have called yourself as a witness, and this is going to apply to you too, Mr. Snelling. So don't ask yourself a question and then answer your own question. Just testify in narrative form, okay? Does that make sense?
yes, yes,
Yes.
Okay. And because it looks like you're comfortable, and obviously, Mr. Snelling, you are here on Teams for this in-person hearing. So obviously, I'm not going to force you to come up to the witness stand as well. So just, you can testify where you're at, comfortable, because I want everyone to be comfortable, okay? So,
yes.
Ms. Freeman, you may begin when you're ready.
Okay. As I stated, my name is Kiara Freeman. I'm here in support of my daughter, Imani, with her petition of changing her last name. Imani is nearly 14 years old. This petition is 100% her own choice, conceived and driven by her for years. Her long-standing preference. When Imani was in 4th grade, she began consistently expressing her desire to use the last name Breckenridge. Her social and academic identity. She went by Breckenridge in school, on sports rosters, and among her peers throughout the 5th and 6th grades, until the school informed us that it had to be changed legally. It's the name that her community knows her by. Her documented maturity. During our family court mediation in California back in May of 2025, the Family Court Services mediator individually interviewed Imani and formally documented that she presented as commensurately mature, articulate, insightful, and easily engaged. At that time, over a year ago, she explicitly communicated to the court mediator that she wanted no forced time with Briante and felt hurt by his years of absence. His absolute absence and failure to build a relationship. Briante's objection to this petition stands in stark contrast to his long history of parental absence and inaction, abandonment. For many years, Briante has been absent from Imani's life due to his own personal choices. He has missed her milestones, school functions, and athletic accomplishments. Our last major custody hearing on September 16th of 2025 in the Sacramento Superior Court, Briante failed to appear entirely. His failure to pursue therapy. In May of 2025, Family Court Services recommended conjoint counseling between Briante and Imani. In September of 2025, the court ordered individual counseling for Imani and granted her total discretion over whether to have phone calls with Briante. Briante never followed through with initiating conjoint therapy or attempting to repair a relationship in any meaningful way. Sole custody and the Section 3044 presumption. On September 17th of 2025, the California Superior Court awarded me sole legal and physical custody of Imani. The court applied the Family Code Section 3044 presumption against Briante due to his February of 2024 felony conviction and an active criminal protective order. Emotional well-being and real-life paternal bond. Carrying the last name Snelling causes Imani genuine emotional discomfort and distress. To her, that name represents abandonment, absent promises, and a person who was not there when she needed a father. Conversely, Breckenridge is the last name of the father who has actually raised her since she was 3 years old. The father who taught her to tie her shoes, ride a bike, coach her sports teams, attend school events both in person and virtually, helps with her schoolwork. Even when he's away from work, he provides her daily stability. Imani is a mature young woman who deserves to carry a last name that brings her peace, reflects her real family unit, and aligns with her true identity. For all these reasons, under the Pizziconi Yarborough Best Interest Guidelines, I respectfully request that this honorable court approve Imani's petition for legal name change. Thank you.
Mr. Snelling, would you like to cross-examine this witness?
Yes.
You may begin when you're ready.
So, Your Honor, I do essentially disagree with, the request of these changes.
Mr. Snelling, I'm asking you if you have any questions for this witness. Not this is not your turn. Yeah, this is not your turn to testify, okay? I promise you will have an opportunity, sir, but right now, we heard direct testimony from Ms. Freeman, so I want to ask if you have any cross-examination questions for this witness, Ms. Freeman.
No questions, right? No question. Yeah, no questions right now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. There being no cross, this witness may step down. And I'm using air quotes there because you're still seated at counsel's table. So, all right. So you may call your next witness if you have one.
Imani, would you like to speak?
All right. So Imani's been called to the stand. So why don't you come up and have a seat in the witness stand? Because I can't see you through that monitor. So I want to. So you've been called as a witness. So listen to the question and answer the questions truthfully, okay? Speak into the microphone. And this is being recorded, so use your inside voice, but kind of project. Use your loud inside voice, okay? All right, you may begin your questioning.
Is there anything that you would like the judge to know or even Briante to know?
Well, the way this works is you ask, that's on the court's own motion, I'm going to object and sustain my own objection as narrative. So ask some questions that are a little bit more pointed, okay?
Okay, because she drafted a statement. She has what she wants to say. So how would that work? She said she wants to use her own voice. But I don't want to speak for her.
Well, that's why you're asking her questions and she's going to answer the questions, okay?
Okay.
And then Mr. Snelling will have an opportunity to cross-examine her.
Okay.
You're done.
Okay.
So ask some questions, okay?
So for
And
us,
why don't you speak in the microphone? That way it's going to be, everyone's going to be able to hear, okay? And Mr. Snelling, are you able to hear just fine?
Yes, I can hear.
Thank you.
I just can't see. Okay. For why we're here today, what's your choice of your legal name change?
I agree with my name change.
And can you be direct and say what the names are?
I agree with changing my last name from Snelling to Breckenridge.
And what are your reasons for that?
One of the reasons why I want to change my last name is because I deserve a last name that actually means something to me. Anytime I am asked to say my last name, it's uncomfortable to use or hear it. My current last name causes me deep discomfort when I write it on my school papers. Also, this new last name matches my identity and stops the emotional pain caused by my current last name. I have already used my dad's last name socially, playing volleyball, and in 5th and 6th grade before being told I have to change it legally. This name is what people know me by. The whole idea of changing my last name was my decision. I am doing this for my own identity and my peace.
And when you say you've gone by your dad's last name, what last name is that?
Breckenridge.
And what are some reasons of why you identify with Breckenridge, or how you identify with Breckenridge?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. How do you as Imani Snelling identify as Imani Breckenridge? What makes you want that last name?
Briante has not attended any of my school events, such as the spelling bee I was in or my kindergarten graduation. He was never there for my volleyball or softball games. On the other hand, my dad, who is present in my life, has been there for as long as I can remember. He has taught me how to ride a bike, tie my shoe, has been to my games, school events, and was at my kindergarten graduation. A clear example of why I feel this way happened when I broke my finger. During a time when I was healing both physically and emotionally, my biological father was not supportive nor present for me. Instead, my dad was the one who was right there beside me at the hospital, supporting me and taking care of me through the pain. That experience showed me who my real father was, and it's why I want to change my last name to reflect the person who actually stands by me.
And have you expressed these things to your biological father, Briante?
Can you repeat the question?
Have you expressed how you feel? Have you told your biological father, Briante, how you feel emotionally about his absence?
Yes.
And do you have current contact with Briante?
I have no contact with Briante, and I do not want contact with him.
Is that your own choice, or is that just you feeling emotional and not wanting to face your emotions?
This is my personal choice.
Those are all the questions that I have.
Thank you. Mr. Snelling, any questions for this witness? Cross-examination?
Yes.
You begin when you're ready.
So, Imani, I just want to ask you, when you did break your finger, I didn't, me and your nana didn't fly down to Arizona. We weren't present inside the hospital.
Yes.
Thank you. Imani, I want to ask you this question. Um, have you ever expressed your feelings to me?
During the court sessions, yes, I have.
Okay. Um, questions do I have? I don't have any other questions as of right now.
Thank you, Mr. Snelling. Any redirect? Further questions from you, Ms. Freeman?
Just, is there anything else Imani would like to add? That's it.
Again, I'm not going to allow you to ask such a narrative, open-ended narrative form,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
Questions.
With
So
another-
any other more pointed questions?
Direct, no, not at this time.
Okay. So Mr. Snelling, Ms. Freeman, I have some questions for Imani, okay? So good morning.
Good morning.
What's your date of birth?
9/17/12.
Wow. You have a birthday coming up, don't you?
Yes.
You excited about it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been a long time since I've done math, so I'm bad at it. I'm rusty. But is that your birthday next month?
Yes.
Gonna be is that gonna make you 14?
Yeah.
Is it a yes?
Yes.
All right, so you're 13 right now, 13 years and 11 months, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
I have in my notes that you said that you've gone by the last name Breckenridge since 3rd grade, 4th grade. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Whose idea was it for you to use that name instead of Snelling?
My idea.
Your idea?
Yes.
How did you come up with it?
I seen that Briante was not the father that he promised me, so I have already a dad that stepped up in the areas Briante didn't, and so I don't want to go by a name that doesn't match my identity or doesn't mean anything to me.
You're telling me that this name change that we're here in court for, you have to talk to me and I'm wearing a funny black robe, a month before your birthday, pulling you out of school. Are you telling me that this idea for a name change is 100% your idea?
Yes.
Did it come from your mom?
No.
Did it come from Mr. Breckenridge?
Nope.
Those are all the questions that I have. Ms. Freeman, any follow-up in light of the court's questioning?
No.
Mr. Snelling, any questions in light of the court's questionings
Um,
for this
regard-
witness?
no.
Okay. All right. So Amani, thank you. You can go ahead and take a step down and counsel's table back. Ms. Freeman, you may call your next witness if you have one.
Yes, Mr. Breckenridge.
All right. Karen, can you go grab Mr. Breckenridge? All right. Good morning again. If you want to come up and have a seat here in the witness stand. I'm the witness that you have previously sworn, so you're under oath. So listen to the question and answer the questions truthfully. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. You may begin your questioning when you're ready, Ms. Freeman.
Who are you to Imani?
I see myself being Imani's dad.
And around what time did you enter into Imani's life?
When Imani was 3 years old.
And what contributes to you being her dad, you seeing yourself as her dad?
There's a lot of reasons. I can name a few just off the top of my head here. Consistency, showing up, leading by example, building security, patience, and smart decisions. It's a deliberate choice to be a dad, and that's what I made.
Why did you make that choice?
Love. Love. This is met her. She was 3, sweet little girl, smart, courageous. Yeah, I felt like it was no choice. Love.
Those are all the questions I have for now.
Mr. Snelling, any cross-examination questions of this witness, sir?
Um, mm, no, I don't.
No cross-examination. Mr. Breckenridge, you can take a step down. You're subject to recall, so just take a step outside, okay? We'll call you when if we need you again, okay, sir? The record will reflect that Mr. Breckenridge has now exited the courtroom with the door now shut. So, Ms. Freeman, you may call your next witness if you have one. Other witnesses? Okay, so the moving party then rests? Okay. All right, Mr. Snelling, as promised, this is now your opportunity to present evidence. So do you have a witness you'd like to call?
No witness, no.
Again, you can call yourself as a witness too.
Oh, yeah, me,
So would you like
yeah,
to? All right, so you'd like to call yourself as a witness, sir?
yes.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I told Ms. Freeman. Don't ask yourself a question and then answer your own question. We're not going to try and turn this court proceeding into a Looney Tunes cartoon, okay, sir? So just tell me what you want to tell me in narrative form, all right?
Yes, sir.
You may begin.
Okay, so, Your Honor, I respectfully, as I stated the last court, I totally disagree with the whole change in my daughter's last name. I feel to me as if, this is forced, like from just hearing all this or whatever, it feels like as if it was forced, because it's kind of like it's already, how do I say it? It was already like written in, I can't really, I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say that part, but I've tried to have a active relationship with my daughter. I And back in 2018, when they left, she only gave me Miss Freeman only gave me within 2 weeks a notice, you know, and so I was totally fine with that, and so she eventually she left within those 2 weeks, and there was no active plan, So my daughter is 6 years old at around this time, so she's basically, you know, forced to leave or whatever, forced to leave. Um, I Within like when she left, like maybe like a few months after that, I was probably down there within that whole first year, I was down in Arizona at least 3 times, seeing my daughter, before she even left, I had an active relationship with my daughter. And those are facts. I used to pick up my daughter every other weekend. Um, yeah, every other weekend. I flew as I've uploaded plane tickets, for coming out there. You know, there's always been parental controls on Imani's phone, so there would be times where my mom would be on the phone with her and she'd be like, "Have you seen your dad call?" And she would be like, "No," so there's there's a lot of speculations where I feel like I've been blocked, from having a relationship with my daughter. You know, I know I take accountability, for not being there over these years, and there's I do want to have an active, relationship with my daughter and so I just totally disagree with, the whole name change because, this is what if they were to break up one day, and then my daughter would be stuck with this last name, and that's totally not fair. It's not fair. I want to be in my daughter's life, and yeah, that's pretty much that I really have to say.
All right, thank you, sir. Ms. Freeman, any cross-examination questions of this witness?
When you say you take full accountability for your absence, why were you absent?
Why was I absent? So I believe, there's, like I said, you gave me within 2 weeks of notice, from leaving California, and, I, I tried my hardest, going down there, I brought her back here one summer, and then, from then on, as I started to drift away, and, that I wasn't being the father that I was supposed to be in, and that's taken, I can say that I was not being the father that had been. And that's the reason why I opened the case back up last year, and, I didn't, obviously I didn't follow through with everything.
When you say you want to reconnect with Imani, what makes this time different than the times when you were inconsistent? When you would come and then you would disappear for the periods of time that you did. What makes you sure that this time is different of you wanting to establish a relationship with her?
Well, well, I've always wanted a relationship with Imani. I've dealt with like my own, as you know, I was going through a criminal case. I was going through a whole bunch of stuff over for at least like 2 to 3 years, you know, and so I went all the way down to where, I didn't have much. I didn't have not much to hold on, and so there there's a lot of factors, where I just, I obviously wasn't, caring about life, because I was just so down and out, wasn't working, I wasn't doing a whole lot. So yes.
Do you expect Imani to be understanding of what you were going through versus you not being empathetic and understanding her pain of the absence?
Yeah, I don't expect her to, understand and forgive. I'm not asking for, I do want to ask for forgiveness. I'm not expecting her to know just flat out, okay, you know, hey, Monty, I want to come see you, or hey, I want to bring you out here. I want to actually, build a relationship back up with her, so that way she doesn't feel the way, of all the stuff that she has just spoke on the stand or whatever about me. Because I don't want her, I do not want her, to continue to feel like that because it it starts to make me feel like, okay, yeah, you really messed up, Beyonce. Like, yeah.
What made you not follow through with you guys going to counseling together to repair the relationship or to, try to establish a father-daughter relationship? What stopped you from going to therapy together?
Well, they never I never recommend, or they did recommend therapy, but they didn't. I didn't know that there was, I was supposed to set it up, or if or they were gonna set it up. I didn't know none of this because I honestly felt like the mediator was very biased on the whole situation, and just flat out took your guys' side or whatever. He didn't take anything that I had said in that mediation report in consideration at all. And so, you know, yeah.
Oh, well, you didn't show up to the last court hearing on September 16th of 2025. How come?
I didn't show up to that hearing because as I stated, like, the whole mediation, I didn't know what to really do at that point or whatever. I didn't know what to really do because I'm like, okay, well, obviously they're taking her side. So I'm just like, okay, so I didn't really know what to do. The only other choice was to get a lawyer and I didn't have money for all that or whatever, you know? So, yeah.
Your voice matters. You being there, your presence and your voice mattered. That's all you needed at that time. Oh, I have no further questions.
Ask if there's any question. All right, Mr. Snelling, anything you'd like to testify about in redirect?
Say that again?
Anything you'd like to testify about in redirect? Because you were just subject to cross-examination, so you have an opportunity to testify again in what's called redirect. Anything else you'd like to testify about, sir? Tell me.
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, there being no redirect, this witness may officially, air quote, step down. Mr. Snelling, do you have any further witnesses?
No.
All right. So the biological father rests then? You rest your case, sir?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and there being no further witnesses from either party, let's go ahead and move on to closing arguments. Ms. Freeman, why don't you tell me what you would like the court to do and the basis based upon what evidence we've heard here today, okay?
I like for the court to grant Imani's choice of her name change from Snelling to Breckenridge for her peace of mind, her identity. This is her choice, her story, her life.
Thank you. Mr. Snelling, would you like to make a closing argument? And closing argument is telling or arguing or telling me, the court, what you'd like me to do based upon the evidence that we've heard here this morning, okay? So would you like to make an closing statement, sir?
Yes, I still respectfully, decline the recommendations because I still believe, I can build back my relationship with my daughter of her birth last name, so I still, respectfully disagree with that.
All right. Thank you, sir. Karen, you want to get Mr. Breckenridge in? Okay, so the case is now submitted to me. I'm going to make what we call some findings here on the record. Basically, I'm going to rule here from the bench, but I'm going to make findings based upon the Piscataway versus Yarborough factors that I told you guys about at our last hearing, and then on page 2 of the minute entry setting today's hearing, I directed you guys to present evidence on. Those are the factors the court's going to use in addition to the Arizona Revised Statute 12-601. So I'm going to rule from here, but I'm going to explain myself why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, guys? So the first Piscataway versus Yarborough factor is the child's preference. And this is exactly from the case law. So I know you're almost 14. You're still technically a child under the age of the law, in the eyes of the law, but you're close to becoming an adult. And being 13 years and 11 months, almost 14 years, and then it is pretty much uncontroverted that Imani wants the name change from Snelling to Breckenridge. So I do find that the child's preference under the Piscataway versus Yarborough factors weighs in favor of granting the name change. The next factor is the effect of the change on the preservation and development of the child's relationship with each parent. Well, the court heard no evidence about what the effect of the preservation and development of the relationship with each parent whether the court will to deny the name change or to grant the name change. The length of time the child is born a given name. Well, as we said here earlier, Imani is 13 years, 11 months, almost 14 years. This name has been her birth name since she was born. So this weighs in favor of denying the name change. The difficulties, harassment, or embarrassment that the child may experience from bearing the present or proposed name. Well, Amani testified, I have in my notes that she has felt discomfort from using the last name Snelling, but she didn't really go into details about specific instances or why. So the court finds that this element or this factor has been met that weighs in favor of granting the name change, but it doesn't weigh too heavily based upon the lack of, I guess, that why, so to speak. The motive of the parents. Well, I'm going to speak directly to Amani right now. Amani, you have so many people who care very deeply for you, okay? Mr. Snelling is here. He's here. He wants what's best for you, and he's advocating what's best for you. Your mom is here and advocating what's best for you. Mr. Breckenridge is here for you as well. You have so many people who care for you. You are so lucky. So the motive of the parents for this factor, though, this Piscataway versus Yarborough factor, again, I have no doubt that the motives from all the parents involved here are truly what's best for Amani. So this factor, I've heard evidence about it. I've seen it. I've observed the people, the witnesses testifying. This factor does not. It doesn't tip either for or against the name change. The possibility that the use of a different name will cause insecurity or a lack of identity. Well, the testimony that I heard is that Amani has been using Breckenridge since the 3rd or 4th grade, and the school officials told her to stop using Breckenridge because that's not her legal name, and has been using her to use Snelling. So based upon the testimony that I have before me, that this factor weighs in favor of granting the name change. So weighing everything and all the factors and applying the Arizona Revised Statute 12-601, I'm finding that based upon everything before me, I'm going to grant the name change and sign the order. So Amani, I'm going to sign the order making your name Amani Brielle Ozell Breckenridge, okay? So I've signed the order here, and I'm giving it to my clerk of court for filing. Ms. Freeman, the court's order will be ready in about 1 to 2 weeks. It's going to be your responsibility to get an update, all the records, school records, government records, maybe state ID, soon to be driver's license or driver's permit, to update all of her records with the new name, okay? Mr. Snelling, I want you to, I know this is not the outcome that you've wanted. You're certainly free to appeal my decision to the Arizona Court of Appeals if you so choose, okay?
Yes, and how do I do that?
Well, the Arizona rules of of civil appellate procedure are a good guideline, okay? And also the Court of Appeals has some good guidelines about how to do that as well, but I can't give legal advice. I'm not going to tell you how to appeal my own decision, as that would favor you over another party. But I'm just telling you that you have the right to appeal my decision. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Freeman, is there anything you would like to bring to my attention before we adjourn today's hearing? All right. You're welcome. Mr. Snelling, anything else you'd like to tell me, bring to my attention before we adjourn this morning's hearing?
No. No.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, thank you. And this matter is adjourned. Have a good rest of your day, everyone, okay?
Thank you.
Bye-bye.